Alright, Cuddle Bear episode 15. This level and one level more. It's a return to the level that yesterday ate me alive during most of the video. So this time, let's just totally beat this one. I'm gonna make a prediction this one may end up just being the ultimate anti-greed level. Or, in my case, an entire video devoted to one level. Alright, we almost had it the other time, but I got greedy at the end, and I ended up killing myself. Then I tried a second time, and I got killed by a banana. You gotta watch out for those things, man. Just have to add some Sprite to this match, and we got it good. Alright, because the Sprite will explode me, and the banana, and... well... we know bananas can just be... Just Google it if you've never seen it before. Look up the Sprite and Banana Challenge. Or the Banana and Sprite Challenge. That's an interesting video. You look at it, and if you've never heard of it before, you think it's just bananas and pop. How can that be considered a challenge? And then when you actually, look into the science behind it, you're just kind of like, right, it just seems interesting. It seems far-fetched, but it's apparently true. I haven't tried it myself. I've thought about it a couple of times. And I was like, if I'm going to torture myself drinking something that's, I'm not a big Sprite fan, but it's not like the worst thing. I've probably drank worse things. I mean, I haven't drank like some other people, but I've had some pretty nasty stuff, and I'm just saying, it doesn't seem as bad as it sounds, though it's probably flippin' horrible. It's probably horrible. Like, the feeling of your stomach, how would that work out? It would, from my understanding and the way the videos go, it looks like you feel your stomach expanding from the inside. Kinda like, I guess, a stomach ache, but probably more on the extreme since it happens fairly quickly as opposed to, shoveling food in your bowl. Alright, that's at least the way I think about it when I think about it. I don't know, I might overthink that one a little bit, but I just thought about it there and I was like, let's try it. While we're at it, let's just mix some ghost chilies in the mix, because I've seen this one video on the ghost chilies, and that was interesting to say its own right. Basically, what happened was the poor guy that ate the ghost chili just looked like he was convulsing, like he was going on withdrawal from some hardcore drug. It was kind of epic, but almost felt sorry for the guy at the same time. And then I thought, maybe he's just not really used to eating spicy food like that, Like, there he is, and I think his words, destroying himself for his audience. And he was sitting there shaking, he looked sick as all hell, like, it was definitely worth a leg, but it was entertaining. I'm not one to be entertained by somebody else's displeasure or suffering, and that guy looked like he was suffering. Like, it was pretty bad. It definitely looked painful. It gave me a good idea, though. If I didn't like you, I'd probably try and trick you into it, because you probably wouldn't know what one was, and if you did, I would be generally amazed. Of course, there is quite a few people who probably sit there and hear that comment and go, it's a fairly common word. But, I bet you I can find at least 10 people in my life that wouldn't know a ghost chili from a normal chili, to be honest. And just think of all the entertainment that would be if I decided to be a total dick. I'm not a total dick, but I could be a total dick one day. Just for our entertainment. Because I'd be enjoying it about as much as my viewers. And I've seen some pretty crazy things happen over at my place. Like, I had a buddy that came over one time, and I had this jar, it was a coffee jar, alright? Total coffee jar, full of just straight up normal chilies, little red chili peppers, but they were dried, obviously. Because, well, they were in the jar for quite a while. But they were just dried chilies that could grind up in a grinder or something and sprinkle on your pizza or what have you. And, basically, he was over and he just opened the jar and started eating them. You know, first he ate 2 or 3, and I was like, okay, so we like spicy things, not a big deal. Then he continued until that jar was gone. And at the end of that, I only thought 2 words. Right? Word number 1. Oh my god. Word number 2. He's gonna hate that one tomorrow. Now, if you totally caught what I just implied there, it's 1, disgusting, but 2, flippin' hilarious. Because anybody who eats spicy food, like I eat a lot of spicy food, especially more times than others. Like some days I'll just eat like no spicy food, other times I'll be like, I want something spicy, what should I do? And then I'll just have this huge problem where I don't necessarily know what the hell to put in my spicy food. So I will generally get really creative with my spicy food and do something retarded. Like, for example, I'll start with like maybe 2 or 3 dozen chilies, and then you like there's a rooster sauce. Everybody knows what rooster sauce is. If you don't, you probably should try this without vinegary. Right? It's actually really tasty hot sauce, and it's not that spicy. Like I personally can eat that stuff with a spoon. Right, I'd eat an entire jar of rooster sauce just because it tastes good. I'll eat it on celery, anything really. It's like the poor man's Cheese Whiz. It's cheaper than Cheese Whiz, and it tastes more expensive. Even though Cheese Whiz is cheap, so I guess you couldn't say Cheese Whiz is an expensive taste. But, well, what can you say? I mean, some people might, I personally would think they're crazy. But it is cheaper than Cheese Whiz, so if you were too poor to afford Cheese Whiz, then this would essentially be, like I said, the poor man's Cheese Whiz. But, they were talking like cheap, third Cheese Whiz worth being cheap. They could sell it for way more, in my opinion. Good stuff. But, you know, like, back to what I would do. Now, some people may think this to be a little dumb. I personally, like, my uncle's gone out, and one time I was over at his place, and we were eating this hot sauce, and he like just takes a toothpick right now. This is me here, and I like my hot food. I go nuts and just gorge on spicy food all the time. Needless to say, what happened here was, takes a toothpick, just a normal toothpick. I believe this hot sauce is called Devil's Blood, if I'm not mistaken, and he just dips it in there. You know, gives it to you, says here, just rub it on your tongue. Now me, being the straight up genius that I am, right, I listen to him, and within a matter of straight up seconds, I am sweating, and my mouth feels like I have just eaten straight up fire. Now, not only is this stuff painful to eat or consume in the slightest, it's extremely hot, as you can obviously tell from the way I'm talking about it. But it just murdered me, and like, I mean, I'll go and like I said, I'll eat like 2-3 dozen chili peppers in one meal. Like sometimes I've done really dumb things with hot sauce. Like I'll go and boil and literally create a tea of chili. Then I'll go and throw in some chili powder and whatever random hot sauces I have in the fridge. And this is just a pot of water and hot sauce. And then I'll go take some dough, and when you make a stew, some people like their dumplings and things like that. Well, I'll throw a bunch of dumplings in that hot, saucy, bubbling water of death, and I will just eat it, and I like it because it tastes good. Sometimes I'll throw a little bit of sweetener in there, something a bit sour, you know, vinegar and ketchup, things like that, make it like a spicy sweet and sour with some dumplings. Right, but it's actually not that bad if you just want to eat it for the spicy food, and that'll kill you. Like, that gets hot. You eat the first one and you're just like sitting there like, oh my god, it burns. Or by the time you get to like the 6th dumpling, you don't want any more because it's just disgustingly spicy. And I'll make like 12 at a time, so like I'll eat one in the morning, I'll eat one at night, and then like, I swear to god, if you're not used to spicy food and you eat that, you won't even make it past the 1st dumpling. Like, this is like suicide wing hot. It's just ridiculous, but it's good. I mean, it is good. And I got like a stomach of iron, so I mean, anything that goes in there, it stays. So yeah, needless to say, that's my 10 cents on hot food. Try some rooster sauce if you've never been there. Stay away from the devil's blood. And yeah, my buddy's a goofball and ate an entire coffee jar full of chili peppers. It was very entertaining. You should have seen his face. Beet red, sweating balls, gasping for air. It was funny.